Hey guys, welcome to the True Sweat podcast. It is Onyx 109 here, and today I'm joined with Cherry Quench, who is
Hello.
well known for his Horde and amazingness on stream. And introduce yourself, Cherry.
Hello, everybody. I'm Cherry Quench. I am a content creator. I was with the Gears of War community since, what was that? I started giving back in the day in 2007 in Gears 1, just making, everybody made their awkward Gears montages with the lousy capture cards we had and everything, We all had to get that. I have my great shoddy sniper montage with, heavy metal in the background. But I came back regularly to do Horde content in particular, like November 2016? Like, it was a couple months after Gears 4 released, and did it all through basically until the launch of Gears 5, and then I went on a hiatus for the last, 9-10 months, and just started getting back into a bit more variety gaming since then.
Amazing stuff. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, Cherry. I've had a lot of peeps, you're especially well known in my group for Horde and stuff, so it's going to be a very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Given that, with that said, I mean, I did play a lot of verses. I loved, during my Horde time, people would be like, oh, this guy's just the Horde guy. And then we go play verses and I do well there. And I'm like, oh, wait, I'm just the Horde guy. What happened? Uh-oh.
So when did you get into Horde mode? So when did that become your, on streams, you'd basically stream pretty much a lot of Horde and stuff, so.
Yeah. So, that originally started, I was a variety streamer on Twitch originally, and it got to a point where the more I was doing variety, the more I kind of got tired of, I wanted to try and find, a good home, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah.
Where I felt like I sucked at every game I played. When you're brand new to a game, Cyberpunk just came out and, everybody's not good at it. There's no pro Cyberpunk players currently. I mean, not that there's multiplayer, but, but and that was the norm of every game was the butt of the joke was, oh, I'm bad at every single game I play because it's a brand new game. I've never touched it. So I started looking at games I wanted to play. I played a lot of versus games. I did play Gears 4 versus when it came out. I did a little bit of Ultimate Edition not when it came out, but about a year after it came out on stream. And given there was always the cheap things people did, not just in Gears, but in any game that I couldn't stand. And so I started looking, I'm like, well, I rarely have a bad experience in co-op. And I'm like, what if I just tried making something out of just doing co-op? And so I started trying to look for games that had co-op, and at the time, it just kind of happened perfectly. Gears 4 got released, and it's like, oh, by the way, it has Horde mode. And I'm like, oh yeah, Horde mode,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah. And I'm like, I played a lot of Gears 2 Horde mode back in the day. I remember that. That was fun. Gears 3, I had a bit of a dip, but still. And then I played a lot of co-op on, PlayStation games, think Uncharted. And, well, I was going to say The Last of Us. That's right. It didn't have it, which I'm still salty about. But... So I started jumping in, and it honestly, from the gate, it was a hell of a lot of fun. And with the card system and everything, I just started rolling with it, which then that was all good. And then in 2018, I was starting to get a little tired of it. But then in 2018, I decided to randomly upload a single video, which was just, I maxed out my resupply grenades as a soldier, which just every time you toss out grenades, you can respawn grenades in your inventory. So that was when... I think it might have been a Juvie Madness mode came out or something like that.
Jingle Juvies is it? I think maybe.
Yeah, it had to. It had to have been an Easter event. So yeah, because I think that all the Juvies had the little bunny rabbit ears and stuff like that. I did that, and it was just a game where I got 800 kills. I'm like, yo, this is sick. Let's just upload it, and it did well. Right out of the gate, it did really well, and I was like, oh crap, there might be something to this, and just so that's what started me just. What if I just experimented with any random old build, any old map, anything I can think of to just make a cool Horde match out of and upload it?
Nice.
And then the rest is history.
So with Gears 4, so you played a lot of Horde and stuff. Is there any?
Yeah.
Because there's a massive difference between obviously Gears 3's Horde to Gears 4 and so. Is there any qualities of that you thought was that TC did quite well of, and then something that they lacked with,
Yeah, so I think this is where a lot of me and Chaps try to talk about this a good bit from Tacom, where he leans a lot on like what Gears 3 was, or at least that's the last we talked. I haven't been able to keep in touch with a lot of people lately,
Yeah.
but he really liked the mutators, and I know a lot of the traditional Horde players love the long hauls of the 1 through 50s and stuff like that. And just a lot of people love the bare bones Horde. And what I believe we saw in recently, Gears 5 did just put out a bare bones Horde, right? Where it's like just
Yeah, just classic Horde, just nothing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which I'm glad. I'm good to hear that. For me, I am like really. I got into a lot of MMOs growing up. So and as well, I got crazy addicted to MOBAs. Smite. It's just Smite. But because of that, I saw Gears 4 come in with, oh, you can play as a soldier, which has assault rifle proficiencies,
Mm.
heavy with rocket launchers, a scout that can be tanky, and I'm like, oh crap, these are MMO elements, and that is, I think, the biggest thing that I loved. I know that like a lot of the Gears community isn't fond of that, but that was something that
Mm.
I fell in love with was the borderline RPG elements combined with what I grew up and what I loved with the Gears shooting, the third person shooting, getting skill shots, everything like that. I thought that was, if anything, that was what Gears 4 did best.
Yeah.
And then what I always wanted them to diverse more into that, and we are starting. We see it finally with Operation 5, where we have so many different classes, and they added the Scorcher and the Flame Grenadier. That was like the one. I
Yeah.
was like, give me a tanky dude that can burn everybody. I want this in my life, and they finally got it. I'm like, thank you, yes. But crap, what was I gonna say? But they never, since they didn't really do that, what I did appreciate them doing was all the diverse game types and modes.
Mm.
The biggest help was when they got Horde Frenzy in, and it was just 1 through 25s. And given this is, it's like, it's kind of shameless, but like, for the sake of making content, considering you don't have to slog through a 2-hour 1 through 50 match, like, I like the 1 through 50s, and we did pull them off over time, and there's a lot of good creators that are dominating with good speed runs and stuff like that, which I was just good at listening to people. I couldn't make speed runs to save my life, but like those extra modes gave me all these new things to work with. So oh crap, all of a sudden Tracker Ball's out, and I've got all these videos to make. Well, let's try Tracker Ball as a sniper, which bad call. Tracker Ball as a soldier, Tracker Ball as a heavy. Can we try it with turrets? Can we try it with like an engineer base that's completely rigged out with sentry guns, you know, the usual sentry fest, and like all these little tiny things, and that would carry me long enough that then a new sub mode would come out, like Boss Rush then came out, and oh crap, here we go again.
That's good.
God, that was a good one too. I hope they do bring back a Boss Rush, especially with all the new characters in Gears 5.
Gears 4 definitely had probably some of the best events. I said this current game, I don't think they've had anything too out there really until Classic Horde. Like, I enjoy playing Classic Horde. It's nice to not build anything and just, you know, have a challenge. But with like events, I think at the minute their game is pretty weak, I'd say. I think they need to spice it up a bit, something new, something fresh.
It seems like I've been looking at it, and just given, since I took my step back, I've just been kind of watching from afar. I noticed a few people mentioned Operation 3 and 4. There was like next to nothing that happened in Horde. It was mainly all PvP focused, which I get it. It's the more popular mode, the pro scene, everything. So be it. But it almost feels like just the amount of staffing that's involved with the co-op is really, it's either reduced or just not in focus at all. I don't know if there's news about that, or if there was. I know I saw quite a few people from the Gears 4 days aren't with the Coalition anymore. I don't know if they've been able to replace that. I wonder how much of them, like, not having as much maintenance on Escape and Horde, I don't know if that's their choosing or because circumstances suck, or like Microsoft isn't funding them as well as they need to really nurture those programs up. So it almost feels like, from what I'm looking at least the way I see it, I'm like, it kind of feels like they're prioritizing what's going to keep them afloat the longest, which I know it's like, that's where I think the PvP focus is. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's been as much stuff. Now, given that being said, with bare bones Horde back in, or classic Horde, excuse me, and River also back in finally. Like Razor Edge can sleep peacefully a few nights after the memes that we all made for the River release for Gears 4, and then it never happened. It's just, oh, thank you. It's finally the dream came alive.
They've done a good job of it, to be fair. The way they've updated it with the 2 different like lanes going in from spawn into the actual river itself, and like it just the map just looks brilliant.
I've been seeing some footage, and it's just the instant. Oh man, I'm so sad. I really need to go and play it. It's back, the lovely, because like classic Horde, that was one of my go-to maps, was River. Like River and Day 1 were my, like, you know, and when in doubt, bring those out, because like, you know, you just grab a boom shield, clog up the doors, and you're fine.
So one of the biggest questions I've got for you, this is probably going to be the most lengthiest one.
Here we go.
So the question on everybody's minds is, where have you been? Where? Like, you was like on top of Twitch doing your Horde thing, and then Gears 5 come around, and you're like, where's Cherry gone? Like, where's the Horde content? Where's Escape? Where, you know, let's talk about that.
So, given, I think the best, this was the question that you sent me before, and what I rambled in my car last night for like an hour on. But I'll try and short it, because like I basically wrote down a list, and to preface, most of it isn't Gears and most of it isn't the Coalition. Like there was a lot of things that kind of sucked to happen behind the scenes. But like the biggest thing that happened in May of 2019, so before Gears 5, I got a new job. Usually I just do Uber Eats driving in between.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It pays the bills enough, and you know, I get to chill and listen to audio. That's how I got to listen to all the Gears of War books, and why I'm a book nerd now. You know, someone comes in, what's your favorite character? Bytalk. Who's that? Yeah, look it up, read. But I wanted to get a job that would pay, like, you know, hopefully give me a bit more money faster, so I could have more time to do Twitch streaming and video creation. And that backfired immediately. They wanted me on for more. They wanted me to do more stuff. I unfortunately did a good job. They wanted me to keep doing more roles, taking on more stuff, and the pay was about the same at the end of the day. So I was keeping up with what I was doing with Gears 4 pretty well. And then Gears 5 hit, and there was so much to do. Like, it was overwhelming, because, like, start leveling the crap out of everything. Level up all of your characters and Escape as fast as you can. Level up everything at Horde as fast as you can. By the way, do you want to play the campaign and Versus too? Well, yeah. So, like, you know, all these things to take up time, and I still only had, like, my 4 to 5 hour time slots that I was live on Twitch to do it. And so because of that real life job, I started falling behind on everything in Gears, which then to make videos on it, I started seeing some negative feedback on the videos, which is totally justified, totally understandable.
It happens.
But like, you know, we were at a point of doing such high level, well, not in crazy high level. I give a shout outs to a YouTuber named Makudan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That does like speed runs on every map of Gears 4, and him and his crew are crazy. To me, I look at them, I go like, yeah, one of these days maybe I could be like that. But we were doing like all these experiments at like pretty much close to max level on everything in Gears 4, all the cards upgraded. Even if we brought in someone that was brand new, we could train them up and they can get level 10. And also shout out to the Coalition for like all the ridiculous class level experience boosters. Like I carried somebody. 2 1 through 25s got somebody from level 1 soldier to level 10. Boom, easy. But we can carry 1 soul. But then with Gears 5, I was the one that was getting carried, which wouldn't be bad if it wasn't the fact that I was the one that needed to post the videos of trying out new things. And so it was like this constant game of trying to regularly upload what I was doing, trying not to get carried doing it, which was like inevitable. I was playing with players that were like, they were ready to start hitting in the first couple of months, like insane levels, inconceivable levels with all the mutators and everything. And I was like at intermediate and advanced. Like my card levels weren't there. Like it's kind of what the thing that sucks with Horde. I don't think there's a solution around this, is like you need those levels.
Oh yeah.
Like you can be a god sniper, like which I guess would have been Foz back then. You could be an amazing Foz player, but at the end of the day, you headshot somebody and it takes 3 headshots in a row to get them. You're gonna get tagged by something else in the meantime, and just you end up still being a little bit dead weight. So like, 1, that job. 2, because of that job, I fell behind in leveling Horde so much, and I'm looking over at a list at the moment. And also because of that job, like November 1st was the last stream I did of Gears, and that way we finished the campaign and went and did a little bit of escape on that night, and then after that, my job was assigning me to do like this big project for Thanksgiving, and it took all my time. So like, then I stopped streaming, and like it turned into a chain reaction of like, I'm just not making anything now, and then I had to. It was eventually leaving that job in April that, like, okay, what do I do with my life now? Let's get this back. let's get content creation back up and rolling. But what do I want to do different? Oh yeah, that was point 3 I already hit. Was I have a list. It's like 8 points at the moment. Making content. What the third one was just trying to make content around getting carried and getting the negative reviews and feedback. I mean, given it doesn't feel great, it was necessary, but it never feels great when you know, people go and just tell you how much you suck on in comments, and you go like, yeah, well, I know. And then those were like the biggest 3 things, and I would say that's like 80% of the reason why I left, was because I just fell so far behind that like anytime I thought about trying to catch up, it was, okay, do I just grind offline with just a couple buddies that can pull a favor for me, or like how can I get to that point, or would I ever be able to get to the point where I could be relevant again as far as my abilities? But then I'd say that makes up like 85-95% of the reason. The other things that didn't help during that time were like, I remember there were like, it was when everybody started realizing all the problems with Gears 5.
Yeah.
Like, it was every time, there was points I'm just like, I don't want to wake up and go on Twitter, because it's just going to, like, given Twitter always has the problem. It always has a problem.
It's always toxic. There's like the toxic side and the nice side, but the toxic side is huge now. It's like...
Or at least they're very loud and they wave a big stick. But, so like it got to a point where I remember a couple streams towards the end that I was going in and doing my Horde thing, and people were like, are you still enjoying this game? Why are you still playing it? Why aren't you hopping back to Gears 4? I'm like, because I'm having fun. Like, it felt like in some cases I had to prove that I was genuinely enjoying it, and not like, you know, I guess being what the phrase would be, being like a coalition shill. Like, I was just like there to be unbiased and throw unwavering support towards the coalition, which I mean, I support them in the way that, you know, you want to watch your child grow up, right? Type of thing. Like, I don't want to sit there and yell at them, but like I'll give them feedback and congratulate them when things are good. Like, that's what I was trying to do. Yeah. But like there was an air of toxicity. It seems like it gets better, and I've noticed this repeatedly with every Gears of War game, actually, because Gears 2. Everybody yelling at the smoke grenades, everybody getting mad at all the problems that Gears 2's launch. Then they keep fixing everything by the end. You know what? This is pretty good. Looking forward to Gears 3. Gears 3 did have its problems at launch, and they fixed those. Probably that was their best one, where they got everything fixed pretty quickly. And then, you know what? I really love this. This is great. Gears 4, same thing. Now Gears 5, it seems like the air is starting to clear up, or at least I'm seeing a lot more positivity with Operation 5, so it's gone away for the most part. Yeah. There's still the problems. I mean, given you also go on Facebook comment sections on Gears of War's posts, and one, you shouldn't do that. Because if you want to make yourself feel bad, that's a way to do it. Because you go on.
It is true.
Like, they could be like, we are happy to announce that the coalition, we adopted all these puppies and we made the game perfect, and somebody's gonna be like, fix the shotgun. Just be yelling.
Sometimes you read comments on Twitter or Facebook and you just think, oh my god, it's like, hey, you've unlocked Scourge, or like Blacksteel Scourge is coming to the game.
Yeah.
Your smoke grenades are shit. Where's the ink grenades? I want tie instead. Fuck you guys, like.
Yeah. Hey, we fixed all of these problems that you guys were saying. The coalition's a joke. Like, you can't win. You can't win.
You can't.
But so that's point 4. 5, okay, so this is where I'm really getting into my criticism with the coalition, or where it hit for me.
Mm-hmm.
First off, with the coalition, like coming out of the gate with just the 1 through 50 horde was a hurt, like, because it was to a point, like, when my current my stream schedule at that time was, I was doing like a variety stream to start like the first half of the stream, and then finish it up with some gears so I can keep my sanity, basically. Like, I didn't want to miss all these great games, but at the same time still want to keep the regular stuff for gears going. Because of that, I had about 3 to 4 hours of horde mode to play. I would set up a queue for people to join in. Just, hey, type in !Q and you can join in my match. And it would load up before, while I was playing, like, I'd be playing like Kingdom Hearts 3, and like the queue would be full with 10 people. And I'm like, and somebody, hey, we're going to switch over to gears. Oh, cool. Can I play? No, actually, no, we are backed up for the next 5 streams. Like, I've got a queue that is through the roof, which an exciting problem to have. But like, going back to basically the point was, having the 1 through 50 horde made it so hard to get people to play in with me, because I could play 2 horde matches in a night. So, okay, who are the lucky 8 people out of the 20 to 24? Sometimes I saw the queue would hit 30 people that would queue up. Like, what do you do? And I would just have to turn so many people away, and that sucked. Making content faster was tough. Like, so I banked on escape for a while, but it still wasn't enough when people wanted to, I want to level up JD, and JD wasn't an escape. So, and that's why that was a big problem right out of the gate, was if they came out with the flexibility to do 1 through 25s easily, or heck, I still, like, I don't know if this ever became a thing, but if they made like a cool 1 through 10 setup, I still think that would be brilliant.
They do a 1 through 12.
They did a 1 through 12. Okay,
yeah, they do 1 through 12.
I like
it's
it.
4 boss wave on every 4 waves. So it's it's quite intense.
Perfect.
It's quite intense, to be fair, but
yeah,
even like if you play public lobbies, still people still quit out on like wave 6 or some shit, and you're just like, oh my god.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
like I must have repressed that. Wow. That was a huge problem. At least they kind of fixed it with people joining back in. But like, I guess that's where I could more ask you, how has that been? Because I was happy that came into Gears 5, and I was like, oh, I think that would be the biggest problem solved right there, is just make it so people can join back in. We'd get these horde lobbies, and I would bank on, like, I would see somebody's name in chat, like, and I'm like, I have kind of like the streamer privilege, like, of, oh, hey, wait, that person usually plays horde with me. Hey, do you want to get in a game? I guess I could. All right, I'm sending you an invite. We're down 2 people already.
It's drastically improved. Like,
okay,
with PvP side, they introduced the you don't know if you've seen it, but they introduced, so like if you'd quit out or disconnect. I mean, I know disconnect is an issue at the minute, but if you quit out, you'd have to play 2 quick matches to get back in.
Yeah, then, I remember that.
With Horde, there's still nothing really with Horde other than the best thing to do with Horde is to do custom lobbies instead of online lobbies, because custom lobbies, you can have them as joinable, and then any person can join them. That's the best way to do it. But
that's a huge relief. Do you notice that? Does that work a lot? Do you save a lot of games that way? Like, crap, somebody left.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. But I wish in game when you're playing, because if you're playing with friends and like, oh shit, I need a random because my friends had to go do something, you can't switch it in game to joinable. You have to do it when you host the game. But
I see.
It's still a lot better than it was in Gears 4.
Yeah.
Gears 4, the people quit on wave 40 or wave 10 or wave 11, and then you just fucked, really.
Oh my gosh. The matches, like, we'd be doing speed runs and like a wave 45 out of 50, and somebody would leave, or like what was even more heartfelt was like somebody's like, I'm sorry, I have to go.
Yeah.
I thought we'd get this done in time, but it didn't pan out that way, and just like you would watch as it slowly, like, the whole system would fall apart without that one person. Yeah, like we would hold on as best we could, and then like wave 45 to 47 is us dying but surviving, and then wave 49 we wipe, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Just devastating. But okay, yeah. So that's good. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, the quitting out problem was gigantic in Gears 4.
It's definitely improved a lot more, but
yeah. I didn't even experience half of it. Like I got to try and stay aware of, like, I had a queue of people, and I know if you're not a streamer or a content creator, you don't have that luxury. So that
Yeah.
like is exponentially that sucks exponentially if you don't have like buddies right there at your basically at your whim. Hey, you want to play? And they say yeah. But yeah, that was a big problem. Missing it was the variety of modes. Okay, I'm like, all right, what else? Back to the list. Oh, okay, so like this one was kind of like it kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I think it was a small deal at the end of the day, but it was enough to get me worried. On top of everything else, it was like the oh god, the coalition's going down the dark route that I thought they could go down, but I didn't think they would. Was whenever they started doing the Terminator stuff,
Oh
and
yeah.
they released Grace. Like I guess I wasn't as bothered by like Sarah Connor and the Halo characters Emil and I can't think of the other name. The
Oh,
guy that's the brute, he does a lot of melee stuff. The Halo
Batista.
ODS. It
No,
wasn't
Emil,
Batista.
Emil. That's it.
Well,
That's
there was Emil, and then there was the one more that was there. There was the engineer character, and then there was another one. Either way, my memory sucks. But they added those in, which I guess were those might have been like pre-order bonuses or something like that.
Yeah.
I apparently got it whenever I got my key for Gears, which thanks Coalition, I really appreciated that. I still do to this day. It made my month. But they added in Grace, and the only way you could get Grace was paying $20 to
Yeah.
play as her, which nowadays in Operation 5, that would be no big deal because all the classes are separated from the characters. But in that case, Grace was a separate, unique character that you could only play for $20. And that scared the crap out of me because I was like, she could be the strongest character in the whole game. And everybody has to pay $20 to play as her.
Yeah.
That's pay to win. I'm like, they're like, you're tracing really close to pay to win. And it hit a lot of I guess the traumas of I used to be a part of the Last of Us multiplayer community as well, and
nice.
Which a lot of people go, I didn't know Last of Us had multiplayer. Well, the part of the problem was that towards the later cycle in the PlayStation 4's launch of The Last of Us, they added in 4 guns as purchasable DLC weapons, and they were disgustingly overpowered. So like this is what I was yelling at in my car last night. I'm like, okay, so imagine if one of the guns was the sawed-off shotgun from Gears 3,
oh, my
but
God.
it had, but it had 4 rounds before you had to reload. So you remember you just pop and then 20-second reload as you're reloading it. Now imagine if you could shoot that 4 times. And not that I'm saying that there was a gun exactly like that in The Last of Us, but it felt like it would be that level of disgustingly annoying and overpowered.
It's like Destiny, right? When they release DLC, they have like these pistols. I remember a pistol called the Fawn, and like if you had that pistol in Destiny, like in PvP, you'd just be dominating the field.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing people play with it. Yeah. It just this disgusting level of overpower. Which if you didn't have those weapons in The Last of Us, you were obsolete. Like you could survive. Like it was me and one friend that we could dominate matches just by being 2 snipers co-oping. But like that's if we had the amazing synergy. If you're playing with randoms, somebody comes at you with one of these new weapons, you're gone. You're not that relevant unless you are a god. Like so that's when Grace came in, I was like, I don't know if she's going to be that crazy strong. And also just I hate the fact that on content that you play as in like a multiplayer game is unlocked behind that paywall, like that at least.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, but I did really like Shadow of Rome DLC. So what am I saying? I don't. But like, it really bothered me that I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone in my community has to fork up $20 to try and play as this character, and either A, it's incredibly overpowered and it's a really good character and it's a really strong character, and it makes it a must buy, which seems lousy, or it's a subpar character, which I think that's what she ended up being. Was like, yeah, she's kind of like, if there's the tiers, she's like a B tier. She's all right. She can do well, better characters to play as. Which then you pay $20 for a B tier character? Come on.
Exactly.
You just dropped $20 on a so. That was, I think, whenever that started happening was when I was like, I don't know if I should keep going. And with everything going on with real life, I was like, I don't know. That seems rough. And then just after that, I started watching like a lot of the skin updates and stuff like that as the releases kept going on. I guess what bothers me a lot about what they did, and kind of goes back to me wondering. I wonder if the funding was the problem. Has been the problem. Is like, hey, we're re-releasing Dom. Hey, we're re-releasing like these Locust characters. Razor's Edge is still waiting on the Locust Sniper. One of these days, I hope he gets his wish.
It's just a pair of goggles. That's all it needs,
yeah,
man.
Just it. Yeah, just the goggles. That's it. That's all you need. And all the woes and the pains can go away. As well. Wait, have they added in Flame Grenadier yet from
Yeah,
like
he's
Gears
in
2?
there.
All right.
I'm not sure if it's the Gears 2 variant, but they've added the Flame Grenadier in for sure.
Either way, I'll take it. But it was them. Oh, and like the re-release of Ty. Okay, now I'm kind of cherry picking here. Is Bernie in?
Not yet. No, not yet.
That's what I'm. See there. It's like we had so much stuff unlocked in Gears 4. And I feel like Gears 4 already was a lot of re-releases of characters.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
but it was already available, ready for you to just like grab it and use it straight away. That's what Gears 5 should be like. It's like, here's a roster of characters already available, and then they really work on new characters for us to play as. That's
yeah. And like I was hoping at least the way it would go is, oh well, for Horde it takes a while because each character has their own traits and their own skills and their cards and stuff. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
At least if the Versus crew could have, play as all the characters that we had in Gears 4. And sure, if there's limited edition ones, so be it. Like, I understand that, but like Bernie, Ty, Dizzy just came out in Operation 5, I'm pretty sure. Dom, all the Carmines, and I miss Lizzie. I never really got to play as her. But like having all these characters that we already had, it's like the excitement isn't there for the new skins and the new stuff because it's the same stuff we already got in Gears 4. It's just all right. It's the same re-releases. Like if they came out and said like if they did the same thing with guns, like, hey guys, exciting news, we're going to be releasing the Lancer into Gears 5 again. It's like, oh, cool, just like we've had in every other game, right? Yeah, be excited. Okay.
Cool. I don't think it's viewed that way. That's what I don't get is like the TC employees. I don't know how it works behind the scenes, but it's like it's from a viewer perspective and someone who's outside and just playing the game. It feels like someone's making the decision on a skin, or someone's making a decision that I've never really, as from our perspective, I never understood it. Like, it's like when they released Khan in Gears 5, it's like, oh my god, no one's ever played as Khan ever.
Right.
That's what they should be doing as a big selling point. And then, like you said, they just drop Dizzy or they drop Cole, or like, we've played them as them before, but at least have a variant of them or something, or that's what they need. The new shit is just the best shit.
Yeah, just right there too. New shit is like, at the end of the day, we love seeing our rivers get re-released. We love seeing Kai come back, but at the same time, we really want new maps. Like I always think back to like one of my favorite times in Gears was the last DLC came out for Gears 2, and that's when we got like Memorial, Highway, All Father's Garden.
Oh, yeah, good maps.
I'm trying to remember other maps that came out during there was like 6 or 7, and that was when we had like this big plethora of all these new maps and stuff, and like just they were all brand new, and that's what felt great. It was like just like, holy shit, there is so much content right now. There is so many maps to play, and that was when I was spending like just I remember having 18-hour days of nothing but Gears 2, because you just like it never felt like you ran dry on maps.
Yeah,
that also freaked me out with Gears 5 coming out. Hey, you have 5 maps to play in Versus. What? Excuse me? What do you mean? Like.
And then they add the Gears 4 ones in, and then you just go, oh, no, why?
Yeah, and some of them were the Gears 4 maps, too. Oh. See, this is where I'm wondering. I'm like, I don't think that feels like that had to be a funding issue. Maybe, I could be completely wrong. It's all just a game theory. But
I think it was to buy them time, I think because, okay, we're currently trying to build maps. Let's just give them something to play now until we can get the new shit out. But it's just... I don't know why it wasn't the maps building process was not prioritized.
Yeah,
that was the biggest issue with Gears 4. Was like, oh, we got Impact. Here's Impact Dark. Like, oh, we've got here's Forge of a different lane. Like,
don't forget the hype that was Harbor Haze.
yeah, Harbor Haze, exactly.
Oh shit, it's the haze. I can kind of see in front of me still. Given it made some cool headshot clips whenever you shoot someone through the haze. That was
Yeah.
neat. But like, but yeah, it was those re-releases, which I'm like, I guess if I'm thinking like if I was a developer and I was strapped for resources and I still needed to provide something, I guess that's the way I would do it. Like, you know,
yeah.
okay, I would have added, you know, I guess if it was Gears 5, I would have added in Dawn Dark because I freaking love Dawn. I miss that map.
Dawn was a fantastic map, yeah, hands down. It was brilliant.
Gorgeous looking. I loved how big and open it was. Very fun for Horde. So many ways to play it.
See, if they brought that to Gears 5, but they should, if they're bringing a map from 4 to 5, at least change it in some way.
Mix it up a little bit.
That's when it's okay, but not when it's the same game. Like,
yeah, but nothing beats just straight up new maps, new assets, which I was optimistic that was going to happen over time. And I think it was more recently when I think you were the one that mentioned it to me actually, when there's rumor mill going around about Escape losing its or I don't know if it's rumor anymore, if it's confirmed, them losing the new map procedurings and stuff. And it's like, okay, so there was the we're developing things and catching up to everything after the launch. And it seems like I thought we were going to have this high point of, all right, now we're ready to start on launching a whole bunch of new maps and new characters and new content and all this new stuff. And then it's like, oh, wait, we're already cutting resources.
It's like the team can't prioritize, you know, everything at once. They can only prioritize one thing at a time. It's like they're playing catch up constantly.
Yeah, exactly.
PvE, they were doing loads of tiles, which is brilliant. So Escape was getting lots of maps, and now Escape is getting 0 maps at all, and then multiplayer is getting maps. So it's like, where's the balance? There's no balance at all.
That's what I'm worried about. And the more I keep, like, I guess it's stuck in my head just thinking, I'm like, it seems like all of this is because they could use more staff, they could use more resources. And I feel like, you know, Papa Microsoft isn't getting giving them what the good sustenance that they need. And like, so maybe I'm going in with a bit of a softer spot for the Coalition. And of course, getting to talk to Dana and formerly Octus and Ryan and everybody like that. Like, you know, when you build relationships, you know, you have the personal heart there too. Or so like I always give them a soft spot. But that's what I keep thinking is the solution. If it's not that, then I start yelling. What the?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing? We have, like, the community has legitimately so many good ideas that, like, either we tell kindly or we yell and beat them over the head with in comment sections. And we make memes about, hence why, you know, I make a meme about River and it was River, and then there was a good one that I did for Locust Sniper, and I just say like, hey Resident, check this out. He's like, yeah, exactly. Retweet it.
It's all publicity for them at the end of the day. They should like all this stuff. It's like when they did I don't know if you know, at the launch of Gears 5, they had Ninja play Gears.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they had Ninja played a campaign on stream a day before it launched, and then Dr. Disrespect as well, a big Twitch streamer. He
I remember him hating on it.
Yeah,
I
was like, "Oh, this game's brilliant," and he started getting used to it, and then he started realizing what all the Gears fans have been banging on about with the Nasher and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, this is shit." He's like, and he uninstalled it on stream. It was like, you know,
I remember that.
Those two big names could have put Gears, you know, a bit forward a little bit.
Right.
Ninja maybe not so much because he's basically a kid audience, but Dr. Disrespect has got quite a decent audience from PUBG and stuff. It would have been brilliant for Gears, but.
And I feel like his audience would have resonated well with the, like, it matches the Gears community they get a bit. Even if looking back at Ninja historically, he was a Halo player, and remember back in the day when it was Halo versus Gears? What wild times. like that used to be the actual argument to have. And he was, I know he was a Halo fan. And that's where I was like, I don't like you. See, I gotta have my characters without helmets on, except for Carmine. But yeah, like, what was it? But yeah, like, I don't know if Ninja's audience would have worked for it necessarily, but even just bringing a lot of the original people back. I mean, like, Gold Glove played it for a while. I know he plays it off and on. Still, like, but that's where he started OG and Gears. Bringing back there's wait, is it Nate Shot was originally part of the Gears
Yeah,
community?
I think it was
Yeah,
Nate Shot. Yeah.
I guess that one. I was like, I knew it was somebody in like 100 Thieves that is huge now. That like he kind of he had an early on start in Gears of War.
He
It'd be
gave
cool to see them come back.
he gave it some shit. Not I think it was last year
Oh
or
yeah.
something. He was on some sort of interviewer stream and he was like, "Oh, don't play Gears. Gears is garbage and stuff." I'm like, so you're just trying. He's killing off a game like, and he's not really played it that much, you know. And he's just
Oh yeah.
gonna give
Okay.
it a chance. But,
Yeah, I don't follow him as much, so I don't know what he's like
yeah.
even. But I just knew him like, oh, he used to be Gears, cool. Yeah, like what it seems like with the launch was like, you know, as we see with just about every Gears launch, it comes in with its net of problems.
Yeah.
As we see, you know, Gears 2 it's smoke grenades and Gears 5 it's stun grenades. Now that I realize that history hasn't changed that much. But you know, and people coming in, even if they're regulars, they go, all right, how is this? Are the old problems still there? Yeah, their own form of it. Okay, peace. And then they leave, and then we're back to the normal slog of just trying to make this game popular again.
Yeah.
I'd be curious if they were able to really come out with a big variety of content. Like I'm thinking of like Gears 6. They come out with a wide variety of content. Everything's like as polished as it can be. Obviously, there's always going to be bugs. It's an impossibility these days to try and bring out a game perfectly on release. But like enough of a strong hook to make people realize that it's not the same old, same old.
Yeah.
And I think that you could have a good viral explosion of it again.
100%.
And although at the same time, like as a side note, this is just a random thought. I was like, although Halo really is struggling with that too. We'll see how Infinite does, but
yeah,
like I know Halo 5 kind of has that same trend as well, where you know, oh crap, Halo 5 came out and then it dipped hard, and like I feel like I only see pro players playing it and people playing it through the campaigns and like the occasional occasional just like a person that's committed to it. It seems like it's kind of in the same field for two huge Titan IPs like in Gears and Halo.
Halo used to be such a big game for me. I mean, to be fair, I played Halo before Gears of War. That was the reason I bought an Xbox, was because of Halo, and then I slowly turned to Gears after playing Gears of War 2.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, Gears 2 was the first Gears of War game I ever played. I played it in a ridiculous order. Like I played Gears 2 first, then I played Gears 1, then I played Gears 3, and then from Gears 3 onwards I played it in order. But
okay, that's not so bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but
yeah,
it's just a bit messed up.
It was for me. I was gonna buy a PlayStation 3. Like I do have Sony pony blood in my veins. Like it's there. I will be the first to admit that. But with the PlayStation 3 being $600 and then the Xbox 360 went on sale like a couple months after Gears of War 1 came out, and seeing the Mad World trailer repeatedly on TV jacked me up. I'm like, this game looks so dark. The previews for it, I like read Game Informer back in the day. I'm like, the previews for it looked pretty sick. This game is getting really good reviews. Screw it. Just went and bought an Xbox and never looked back. And it blew me away from the start. That was like my hook into it. So I've kind of been here for the history of it, other than like I wasn't there to see, like from what I hear from other Gears fans that were there from the very launch, was like Gears 1's multiplayer was attacked on, and we'll try it. And then it was a hit. They're like, I don't know, we're gonna throw something together and see if it works, which how very epic games of them, because they did the same thing with Fortnite Battle Royale. Is maybe we should make a Battle Royale. Here, throw this out. And then it was a hit. That was the same thing with Gears of War 1. I lost my train of thought on that, but yeah, that was my entry point. Was like a couple months after Gears 1. So I've paid attention to and watched the history of it for all of basically all of it. It's unfortunate to see, like we were all pretty optimistic about Gears 5, and I still think it can have a good end, like all of them do. It's just the repeating history of having so many problems at the launch and in the first year of the game that it detracts so many people away from it. Seems to be like the number one hurdle to get over. Which there's so much to that. Just saying like, oh yeah, just make it better, haha. But that's the biggest problem that I think the coalition has to deal with.
100%. So is there anything at the moment you'd say TC thinking that they, do you think they need to add anything to Horde to like spice it up, like in terms of cards or fortifications, or there's something along that sort of line, because Gears 4 lacked fortifications and then Gears 5 pretty much got about the same sort of thing as well. So
yeah, I my mindset with, and it's the same with Gears 4 and Gears 5. I think the mindset I've always had is just more. Like just as more things as you can think of, even trying out stuff, even if you throw in like, hey, on a patch we're throwing in new boom shields and we're going to make a boom shield class, even if it sucks, try it out and we can work it from there. Especially post launch, I feel like I'm down for that. That's what really worked for me with Gears 4 was whenever we started getting the new maps regularly, or well, all that fiasco with the new maps, but and then we got all the new horde modes and the variants, and then we could level up our cards past level 5, and it was the inconceivable runs, and then from there came the community. Shouts to everybody that knows how to speed run and to try all these challenge runs, and then me trying out these absolutely stupid builds, like, hey, we're gonna try it where everybody on the team's using a turret, just like in the good old days when nobody knew what to do. It's just it was absolutely dumb, and then it worked.
Yeah.
That was the type of stuff that really made Gears 4 towards the end of its launch cycle work fantastically. And when I look at Gears 5 and the way that it launched, I mean, I remember we were all focused around the power taps. And we were focused around like really specific items. I would say, like, the way that I think to get away from, like, in Gears 4, it was getting away from sentry fests, where you go into a random lobby, somebody picks engineer, and they build 50 sentries. God, there was a match where somebody had literally 50 sentries in the back of canals.
It just takes the fun out of it, doesn't it, really? There's like, you literally do no work at all. You just stand there and just let them do the job.
Yeah, me and a few people on stream are sitting there sending messages to each other on our phones, and just because we couldn't do anything. Like, I was a sniper, and I would get one headshot in on somebody before they would go and engineer out. And they would, like, I would get one shot, and then everything else would start swarming around us, and then the sentry guns go wild, and you also couldn't, like, I couldn't hear myself because the sentry guns were so loud. It was just horrible. It was obnoxious. But and I know there's similar problems with that with Gears 5 Horde. I don't know what the meta is exactly right now, because I've seen a lot of videos suggesting there's been a shift away from power taps, which good.
Yeah.
I think that'd be nice. But if there was more items to try more things to discover what the meta is, or discover new metas, and I'm relating a lot of that to my time playing Smite, where you have they have like 112 gods in the game that all play mildly differently from each other, and then each patch comes in different item changes, different god balances, and so the meta keeps changing and shifting, and so there's a fresh feeling to it when all of a sudden, oh, Cthulhu is the strongest god in the game, and he's disgusting. And actually now he sucks. I don't know if that's true or not, but and now he sucks. And now Zeus is the strongest god in the game. Play as him. And those meta shifts are really fun and kind of keep the game fresh. And for creators like myself, it does give us stuff to continually try. So say if and I like that. I think the best thing that the coalition's got now is like just the classes, keep it fresh. Like how many are there now? It's like there's like 20 classes.
I think there's 20 classes in total, and
Jeez, I was right. Oh my God.
You can rank them up to level 20 each. That's the maximum level. But if you hit level 20, you unlock a heroic skin. You can only obtain it through that class. So there's an incentive to level it up to 20 instead of just being, oh, it's level 20. That's it. It's done. Yeah. So
not gonna lie, I'm kind of honored. That sounds like something I put up in a video I talked about. Like the heroic skin. I'm like, my God, I feel like I mentioned that exactly. I'm like, all right, coalition. They might have. I think they might be listening to me. Maybe I'm letting my ego run there. But yeah. So it's just like, I think the variety is the spice of life there. So like the 20 classes gives a good bit of diversity to try out, and making sure that those classes stay pretty balanced. I remember launch day JD was disgusting. As far as how powerful he was.
Unreal.
The missile launcher, and he spawned with a boom shot, if I'm not mistaken.
Boom shot and a GL.
God Lord. And he had the missile strikes as well. Like, he was disgusting.
And like, the blade card as well. The blade card was unreal.
And then Foz and Emil was the melee. Wait, the girl Halo character, the engineer. she was so underpowered, and then Foz, which makes me so sad because, you know, being the sniper montage boy that I was, I of course wanted to snipe enemies, and Foz was not so good at launch. Yeah, so it's just keeping it balanced and keeping the variety going with it, and updating it as it goes on too. Like, it seems like balancing is a never-ending game,
Yeah.
but just having people appointed to continually do that. So, like, you know, and that goes for verses as well. Like, when something problematic is happening with a shotgun, or to use Landon's language, whenever you got muskrats unloading lancers camping everywhere, you know, and it becomes a problem that needs to be balanced, then you can keep shifting things around to, all right, how do you counter these people that are camping with lancers? How do you counter these people that like this problem with the Nashers, so on and so forth. And then you combine that with continually adding in new weapons, new maps, new fortifications. Like, I know I had a list of ideas for fortifications back in the day. Part of me was wondering if like like whatever could be an equivalent to buying like boom shields. Maybe not boom shields directly, because like those things were invincible walls of
Just
you
some
can't get
sort of
past them.
shield you can just drop and deploy, where you can
Yeah, I
similar
was
to
like,
Emil's like bubble shield type thing, where you can just drop it.
right.
Yeah.
Or even if like you could build walls to an extent, but then
Yeah.
they had certain health management. I'm like, I was like, there's a lot of creativity to be had, and like, for me, looking at walls and shields, that would have prevented us from always having the monotonous problem of, you go to a map like, actually River would be an amazing example. You go to River, you're gonna hide in the cabins, or you're gonna hide in the spawn, and there was that cabin to the side of the spawn that you would make camp around. You had to have some pre-made structures around you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you had walls, like different types of walls and structures you could build to keep yourself safe, that were from the fabricator, you could build in the middle of the map for all you cared, and that would be
Yeah.
intense as hell. That would be awesome. Like, at least that's the way I keep thinking of it, is just if there's more ideas for fabrications and stuff, and that's where the community does a great job, because, you know, we all think about these things while we're playing. Just listening, hearing out for the community. Hey, what type of fortifications do you think would help in Horde or something like that? That's a weird question to ask on Twitter, but yeah.
It's 100% true. But you think back and think, if we can think of these things, why can't the devs be like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, they thought of a flame sentry or something. Let's add it. But it's like someone would turn around and go, "Oh no, it's a terrible idea," and it would get outvoted and stuff. I think that's how it will work. But it's like they don't think the same. Like, they do and they don't. I think it's down to the board or something, or whoever they talk to. Like,
something to like. That's what I keep thinking. I'm like, I think there's a lot of red tape that we don't see.
yeah.
That's like I don't think that the game developers, like, I'll see people go like, you know, Facebook, and, you know, make yourself feel bad, but you go on Facebook and people are like, oh, the Coalition are just a bunch of idiots. They're stupid. They're incompetent. I'm like, they are making a AAA title game for $1 billion franchise. I don't think they're dumb going into the board. I don't think they're dumb going into this. Like, I think that's underestimating their capabilities by a mile. I think it seems like there's more holding them back. But yeah, if my best voice has always been, I'm somebody that likes variety, which, that, like, as far as points that I didn't mention yet, because why I went away from Gears was just like, I need variety of games in my life, and hence why I'm trying to make more content now. I'm attempting to try and make a variety YouTube channel for gaming, and we're gonna see how it goes. Because like I think I figured out good ways to make a good channel dedicated to one game. I've got that nailed down for like what I did with Gears. I can kind of blueprint that in a way. But it was I love Gears, but at the same time, every single day of it, like when it's the only game you want, and then if you're not on that game, people get mad. It's like it was the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, and people were mad that I was continuing it to finish the story, when I've been a fan of Kingdom Hearts longer than I've been a fan of Gears of War, and it just hurt my soul a little bit. Not that I hate Gears or anything. It's just I was like, I just really want to play Kingdom Hearts. It's just the mood. So yeah, like, I guess my overall message is just like the variety, adding in as much as you can, which can, like, where I always think the problem ends up going to is, all right, to keep adding in more variety and adding in more new means we need as many graphic designers on that as you can, as many people to bug it out, as many people to balance it, release it, market it, It's adding a lot of people to maintain it. It seems like it's a high maintenance relationship.
Yeah. Do you
This is
do you,
actually
do you regret like this is going back to the whole like streaming sort of thing.
yeah.
Do you regret not streaming like from from all those issues? Do you kind of regret even though you had a lot going on?
I'd say so, yeah. Like not like not to the point where like woe is me. I'm like the Shakespearean character or something like that, but
Yeah.
not that bad. Like I still at the end of the day I don't regret taking the step away. And given the real life thing couldn't be helped, like I don't see a circumstance where I would have been able to outsmart outthink myself at the time,
Yeah.
and like get out of the job earlier. And plus that job did get me a lot of things. I'm recording this on a camera I wouldn't have had otherwise. I've got new monitors, new I bought so much stuff with this money I made from that job. Um, but just I do keep thinking, especially now. I just released a couple days ago a new video on a really obscure game from my childhood. I won't shamelessly plug unless you want me to.
No, no, carry on. Go ahead. Plug anything you want.
It's just this dummy obscure game called Evil Zone, and I'm talking like one franchise I'm working on is talking about like games that nobody really ever talks about, or I never see people talk about. Because I've talked about when you talk about Gears of War and you play Gears of War on stream, people all the time say, "Hey, what's your opinion on Fortnite?" Like it was a once a week. What's your opinion on Fortnite? I'm indifferent. It's okay, but the kids are annoying. You say it like a million times. Like you can basically write it down, and you can make it like a programmable sound effect. What your opinion is on Fortnite at that point.
Yeah.
But shoot, what was I getting at? See, I told you I was going to sidetrack. But I made this video that was really obscure, and one of the things I really enjoyed, and oh my god, was a good feeling. Gears 5 release. I was like, I don't know how to play this mode of Horde at all. I'm just going to jump in as Jackbot and let's freaking do it. And I recorded it. We did a 1 through 50 successfully, and I uploaded it to YouTube. And just watching the view count go up is some next level dopamine. Holy crap. That is unbelievably good feeling. And it was unbelievably good feeling building that up too. Like seeing the guides that I made for classes, like the sniper guide really take off. The heavy guy did well. The soldier guide did solid. Scout did decent, although that one the editing was a little rough. But like it was exciting to see that, and to now go back to just the stone wall that is like, oh, some of the audience came over because they like me and they liked who I am, which I will always be grateful for. But the people that were there for Gears, and I'm not holding that against the people. But like if you're not into Evil Zone, I don't blame you. But especially like I'm a Gears guy. Like, I'm a Gears guy. I'm totally sold on this anime fighting game. But like to see the view count, to see like a lot of my interactions, the people that I used to know not be around anymore. It's like I miss the people and I miss the times that we had. I guess I really miss that. I don't regret leaving it because of like a lot of what I mentioned. Just I think back, I'm like, well, what if I just started uploading Horde matches again? And I go, well, one, that same mindset of, oh my god, I gotta catch up to everybody. Like just I'm exactly where I was November 1st, 2019 in Horde, which means I am about like what 3 or 4 difficulties in, however far that is. I know I didn't hit insane. I know I wasn't ready for insane level stuff yet. I know I was nervous about that. So I've got to catch up to everybody, try and learn what everybody learns, and then try and make something new on top of that. It's like it's just like a pain for that. And as well, at the end of the day, this kind of felt like it was going to be an inevitable thing that was going to happen to me regardless, because while I love Gears and I would enjoy making content for a super long haul of Gears 5 and for Gears of War as a whole, and interacting with the Gears community and everything, like talking to people like you and to the major creators and everything is fantastic. I love it. It's playing that single game every single day. It turns into a job for me. Like some people can handle it well, and if you want to, here's the shameless plug. If you want a, if you can stick to a game for years and years on end, and you want to make videos for it, come see me. Come talk to me. I have ideas. I have a lot of ideas.
That's the problem. Like with changing from one game to a completely new audience is like you've stuck to Gears that long. You've got the regular people watching you. You have
Mm-hmm.
Gears people just coming to watch you anyway, and you become recommended on Gears Gears videos
Yep.
and stuff. And then it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go play a Halo game. I enjoy Halo. I'll upload it
Yeah.
to YouTube. Why not? And then you'll compare the views. You'll have like a Gears video with like 28,000 views, and then
Mm-hmm.
you'll have Halo with like 100, and you'll think, am I doing something wrong? Is it me? Is it you question so
Yeah.
many things, and then it's just down to the fact that because your channel's become Gears orientated, it's
Right.
going to be a hard shift from that to something else.
Yeah, you work yourself into a corner, and
Yeah.
it seems hard to not do. Like I was comparing how I was doing it, and like a lot of the major creators. I try and keep tabs on so many different Gears creators and stuff, but I would compare them. Like, are they getting caught in a rut just like I watch Smite creators get caught in a rut? Like I played a lot of RuneScape growing up, so I keep my eye on RuneScape creators. Are they getting into a rut? The answer is yeah, they are. Because like I'll watch people jump from, say they were a major Smite creator, to, hey, we're gonna try out this new MMO. It's even similar in gameplay to Smite. Oh, cool, dope. No, but like the viewership goes from, if it's a 2,000 viewer stream, goes to maybe like 300 viewers, and it's like it's that big of a chunk difference. And I did the same thing you did too. Like I was, alongside of playing Gears, there was a long period I was playing Payday 2, which if you haven't played it, very fun co-op. But I was trying to start uploading videos. I got decent enough that I could start experimenting with stuff, and I uploaded a couple Payday 2 videos and just flatline. Like, I think I got like 30 views on most of the videos, and then it's a 400, 500 view video on Gears, 30, back to another Gears video. Like it's like it didn't skip a beat. It's like it literally just got ignored. And given it's I guess what it comes down to is just you've got to build that familiarity and get people used to it. Or what I've been questioning, and where my head's going for experimenting now, is like, can I just make different channels for each of these? Because like I have the Gears of War channel that I just kind of left there, and I still debate to this day, like, if I just felt like it, and I just felt like we just came back and did some Gears stuff and had fun, what if I just uploaded videos back to that channel and just made that it's a Gears of War only channel, and then I've got the other Cherry Quench channel for, like, this variety stuff. And say if a new game comes out, what's a new game that looks pretty hype? Outriders, or Back for Blood. Yeah, I saw the trailers for that. Looks pretty hype. Say if that game is unbelievably amazing and we all get addicted to it, we all fall in love with it, and I want to make a regular content out of it, I'll just make a Back for Blood Cherry Quench channel. Like, I'm decent at graphic design. I'll make it look a little bit like my Cherry logo, look a little bit like the branding, and bada bing, bada boom. There you go. At least that's the way I keep thinking of it. But yeah, it is killer whenever it's the same game over and over again, nonstop. Which, like, for the people that have been there since Gears 1, making content regularly, I give them the most amount of respect and credit, because, like, I don't know how the hell you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, or you're good with that. You're good with, like, having that routine down of the same thing over and over again. It did also sting for me when, like, I didn't have the variety as strong since, like, 2016 to 2019 of playing Gears. The main focus was Gears. I lost touch with a lot of people in my community that were there for the variety. So, like, there was always kind of there was the battle and the clash. And, like, so sometimes they come in, it's like, hey, I'm just not that into Gears, so, like, it's good seeing you, and I'll talk to you later. And it's just like, it's that they're being kind, but it still hurts. Like, it's that pain. But if you don't have that problem, again, if you can play Gears 16 hours a day and it doesn't bother you, and you've been doing it for, like, multiple releases, talk to me.
Yeah, so, I want to
go
know
into my
tricks,
DMs.
Yeah. Because
I got plans.
Exactly, like it baffles me, like, because I've done exactly the same for Gears 4. I just had a content grind. I just kept just like shooting out videos as much as I could, and then towards the end of Gears 4, I made a Crimson Squad, and then because the way I'd launched Gears 5 went, I had to sell Crimson Squad because it wasn't the game that we thought it was, and it's the content
that hurt.
Grind, yeah.
Just like, because I, like, of the teams and of the groups, like, I knew everybody in Crimson Squad, and, like, me and Confusion were like regular buddies and friends as well and stuff. And just like when I saw it sell off, like there was kind of just that like, shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that hurts.
It was a hard decision to make because we all expected like, oh, as soon as Gears 5's gonna come out, we're gonna be like up here. We're gonna have everything going out and events every month. It was even looking at doing a weekly tournament and having leaderboards and everything. I had it all set already, and it just didn't fall the way that we thought it would, and so I had to pass it on to somebody else, which they're doing well with right now, to be fair.
Okay.
But I do miss working in an org. That's why I'm with. I'm working with a new org now called RawGamers. Some brilliant players.
Yeah, I guess I was gonna ask that. I'm like, what's the plan now?
Yeah, so I don't want to own an org anymore because it was a heck of a lot of work.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was we had ups and downs. There's arguments. There's the good times, bad times, but mainly good times to be fair. But it come down to a lot of handling, a lot of work and stuff. It's anyone who runs one, hats off to them because I understand what they're doing, and where it comes from. But
it's the difference between whenever you are just playing video games and you're having a lot of fun with it to whenever you take on responsibilities from playing those video games. Like either if it's like game development or owning an org or becoming a dedicated content creator, like there's that whenever it turns into, okay, part of this makes it a job now. It feels like that changes the name of that changes the flavor of it a little bit. Where like it's not just you sitting there with your buddies playing video games that might be involved in it, but like, oh, there's actually weight to me playing video games here with my buddies, and I've got to do this. I got to micromanage these teams and these events, and I've got to handle all this stuff, and I've got to, there's a schedule to it. So it's like, it's fascinating how video games can become a job.
Oh yeah, I know. It's just very unexpected.
Or I watch friends that pull their hair out over like they'll run video game festivals or like different like show conventions, TV show conventions and stuff like that, and like it's like this went from watching a TV show to you're planning a full-blown event and I'm watching the hairs gray on your head from the like this is something else.
So I've got one last question. It's quite a biggy one. So this is all for you. So for anyone who's watching at TC, have you got a message for them that you want to pass on? Is there any feedback you want to give them currently? That was sort of give them a bit of advice, or just generally just to give them a little push, anything like that.
Yeah. So there's 1.5 million things I could say, but what would be the most important? I think the biggest thing that I would love to hear, and it's probably an impossibility too, but like the amount of communication, I like just talking to us directly, letting us know things good and bad, because like at the end of the day, people might go like, we might see that you're pulling something like Escape, or like you're pulling new maps being pulled out of Escape, and that sucks. But at the same time, to know entirely from the company full transparency of why that's happening versus us making our own guesses and assuming the worst, I think makes a world of difference. And I guess we're seeing that to an extent right now. Like a decent company to look at is CD Projekt Red and everything that's going on with Cyberpunk 2077. They just put out like an apology and stuff today for the bugginess of the game and stuff. But even then, they're not telling us everything.
Yeah.
Like given I know that's where the impossibility comes in. You can't tell us everything, or else maybe that's going to damage investments. That's going to hurt a lot of stuff. But like, if there's any way to be as transparent as humanly possible with what's going on with the game, then we can be foot soldiers to help. Like as I guess where my head goes. So like, for example, with me hearing, and I think you mentioned it was Neon Velocity that put up a video that I went and checked that out, and I listened to it pretty much like glued to the TV type of thing. To him talking about the end of Escape, and the end. He was saying it was like a whole end of PvE, and since that's a jab right at my soul. Not like he's attacking me. It's just like, shit, that's what I was doing. That was my bread and butter for 4 years. I would want Coalition to tell me what exactly is the problems. What are you dealing with? Because this is where, I mean, this half of this podcast has been me theorizing that it's the funding from Microsoft.
Yeah.
And so like I wonder, it's like if it's a publicity thing, then I think I have ideas that I think I know how to help. I think like for me, if I see that, oh, Horde is just not getting enough enough viewership, it's not getting enough people playing it. Escape is just not getting that many people to it, so we're pulling that plug because more people are watching Versus, you know. Okay, I see that. At the same time, like I guess for me, I see like if you were to tell me that, then I can go as like me and my little foot soldier self. I can go. I remember everybody telling me that playing Horde regularly is a stupid idea. I could list people, but I'm not saying names. But they're like, nobody's playing co-op, man. Why would you bother? And I brought a lot of people into co-op because of the videos I was making and because I was showing people how to play it, and because then I had I was, because of the videos I made, I found people that were much better at the game than me. You know, a direct shout out to Grouch on Couch right there, just him, just 100%. That gentleman made me so much better than Gears than I think even he knows. But like, and then that improved my content. That helped me find him as well. He started making content. And just both of us started bringing in all these people. Like, you know, I used to only play PvP, and I can think of a list of names again of people that are still around in my community that were like, I never played Horde in Gears 2 or Gears 3, but you got me into it. And so now I still play it, even though you're not here in Gears 5. Like, there is full-blown advocacy for Horde and for PvE right there. It's like, it's fun. It's different. Like, you know, if you want to bash on people and, you know, smoke tag them when they're down and everything, you know, the good old teabag and throwing stim grenades. You can't get, well, okay. I tried to make it in Gears 4. I would trash talk PvE bots because it was funny. But yeah, like it's just, at least if I knew that the like Escape was, the problem was just we need more people on it to encourage our investors to invest more in us making these nice upgrades to Escape and these new things. Like if they were that straightforward, then I would go, oh shit, well, okay. Maybe even me, if I'm just like, I'm a retired Gears player, maybe I just upload a couple videos here and there just to help out. It's free, like we mentioned earlier, it's free marketing for them. And if I enjoy it, and you know, I know a few other people that are doing a decent amount with Escape still, like, just, all right, let's keep building these communities around it, and they'll stay solid. Maybe they'll even grow a little bit more.
I see.
And then if that's enough to encourage, if that's enough to help the Coalition in whatever ways they need to give us a better, more variety packed, more supported game, a tighter, not as buggy, I guess is what I was trying to say. A not as buggy game, a better balanced game. If that helps, then communication, I think, is like the biggest thing that we could use from the Coalition. And that's not even something the industry's doing that well to begin with, but it's something that Gears of War has historically needed. As we all, like, I think back through every iteration of Gears of War that I've been invested in, which it's been every one of them except I wasn't around for Judgment. But I remember the bugs and the issues. Sure, we didn't have the strong social media that we did in Gears 1 or Gears 2. But if we had the super strong ability to communicate like we do now, I can only imagine what Gears 1 could have become. If like we were able to tell them, hey, could we stop these like lag switchers? Hey, could we stop people from, like, I mean, like, could we just make Kung Fu flipping a mainstay thing? Like, if it's gonna be here, like, could we fix these cheaters and these botters that are constantly around in Gears 1? Like, you know, or like in Gears 2 with the smoke grenade issue that was plaguing everyone. Like, it took so much more effort to communicate that out. If we could help them out in ways, like, to me, I keep thinking communication makes the world go round better.
It does. Okay. Well, that is coming towards the end of the podcast. Cherry, have you got any shout outs? Anyone you've been watching, you know? Anyone to plug in your Twitch? Go for it.
So, I mean, I'll give shout outs to the Gears of War creators that are still creating regularly. Like you, because you mentioned Neon Velocity in stream the other day, I've been watching more of his stuff. I still watch pretty decently like Domes and Razored Edge and Shadows, and keeping up with their content as well. They've been helping me stay regular with the news at least as best as I can with Gears of War. And as far as plugging on Twitch, I mean, as far as me go, if I'll plug myself, I'm doing a lot of variety games of stuff right now. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I'm going about this new channel. I mean, right now I'm doing a lot of these obscure games, and like I guess the concept I'm mainly going towards is I want to talk about the things that I love in games to help make the games of the future better. I guess like that's a cheesy way of writing it.
Yeah.
But like, I guess I saw that work with or again, my ego's fueling it. But I made a video back in the day, and of course I can send you the link for it.
Go for it.
About it was talking about the unlocks that I would like to see, and like I think I made a video talking about class-based systems in Gears 4 that I would love to see in Gears 5. And then I know I mentioned it in streams, and in those streams I chopped those up into videos that got uploaded into regular like random experiment Horde setups we were doing. And like Gears 5 came out, and I'm going like, holy shit, this sounds exactly like my idea. Like, wait a minute. Like, the character locked classes weren't exactly my thing, but like the amount of diversity in classes that they had, and it kept increasing. I'm like, oh my god, I think they're doing what I said. This is like a mind-boggling. That mentality of talking about the things that I would love to see in games, and hoping to see like as kind of like as a proposal for things I'm going to be doing in the future. That's what my channel's about. And so it's going to involve Gears at a point, because clearly I've spent a lot of time here. It's going to involve a lot of the games I grew up with. So I'm going to be doing a lot of like Uncharted and Final Fantasy and Last of Us and Kingdom Hearts, and then talking about obscure games that I love to boot. So I'm really trying out a variety channel and just talking about the games that I love, and that is on Twitch as well as then on YouTube. Just the name is Cherry Quench. Cherry Quench Gears of War is the old archive channel, and it's very confusing right now. Is there any? I think that's all the plugs I got. Although then, if I remember more, I'll just like yell them in the comment section of this video. wait! I got like 10 more people I want to shout out. But just shout out to the people for the Gears community that are still regularly playing and still regularly streaming the game. Like I see so many people still going on Twitch and still like having fun, having a blast, and doing the best that they can with the circumstances. And hopefully we can all continue to talk out everything that we can, everything that is a problem with the games, and hopefully we can really do our part to help make this game as successful as it can be.
Amazing stuff. Cherry, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
All your links will be in the description down below. Please go check Cherry out. And thank you guys for tuning in once again, and I'll catch you guys
everybody.
soon.